Hi there, welcome to our SEIKATSU Club Consumer Co-op presentation for MBAC 6106, Business and Community Economic Development number 2. Our team consists of Andrew Chung, Keela Koss, John Sutherland, and Shahad Barmal. The SEIKATSU Consumer Club Co-op established itself in 1965 and is headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. It initially started out by a single housewife who organized 200 women to buy 300 bottles of milk to help reduce the price. This initiative started by and continued to be an initiative of women who wanted to reform the lives and local communities as well as society as a whole. Currently, it's expanding its activities under a motto of autonomous control of our lives, or in other words, giving autonomy to its members in control of their day-to-day and the things that they do. Currently, this co-op is supported by about 370,000 members currently and operates in 33 co-ops, stretching within 21 out of 47 prefectures in Japan. The SEIKATSU Consumer Co-op identified problems in addition to some of the initial initiatives and activities that it discovered. So those problems are some such as food inefficiencies and food insecurities, destruction of the environment, and poverty and income equality. Throughout this recognition of its problems, they identified that there is a certain way to address these issues. They identified that any problem is too huge for one individual to conquer, and that cooperation is key with the uniting of its neighbors. In addressing those problems, the SEIKATSU Club Consumer Co-op has 5 different strategies it uses. The first one being pre-order collective purchase. In this strategy, they decide the specification of food and other consumer goods in cooperation with producers, and they purchase via pre-order from those producers. This enables a well-planned production and supply, less overhead for producers, less waste of natural resources, and less environmental burden. The second strategy is their cooperative program. So in cooperative, there's member participation investment, purchase, and operation to realize democratic autonomy. This movement aims to solve problems in members' daily lives. These cooperatives there's a reformation of organizations or those co-op organizations within it to better align those organizational strengths of those co-ops. And these cooperatives also aim to influence government by showcasing and making cooperatives a productive tool to solve citizen problems. The third strategy is their collective purchase model. In that they do collective purchasing in small groups and also offer various group activities such as childcare collectively. They empower committees and workers' collectives to order weekly, monthly, and annually to meet their local needs. And overall, there's more strength in numbers when it comes to purchasing power. Fourth strategy is regional autonomy in operation and management. So regional, aka prefecture autonomy, grants them closer problem solving to their region's needs and requirements. But furthermore, they also allow for local authority level to make decisions and make decisions around operation of their daily activities. These co-ops, regional and local, form a SEIKATSU union for collective purchase and for the development of new goods. But those local co-ops hand over some duties over to the holistic or the widespread union to improve efficiency for large-scale initiatives such as implementing a distribution system or implementing IT systems. The last strategy is a mutual aid business where the cooperatives align their resources and have a reciprocal exchange of resources and services between them and to the local areas of those co-ops.
An uneven development over time and space, yet to be truly addressed through theories of economic geography and regional planning, is one of capitalism's defining characteristics. The failure to appreciate capitalism as a periodically crisis-prone yet necessary social system has forced a paradigm shift and is continually redirecting focus to social systems. SEIKATSU members recognize that there is an alternative to the free enterprise system of capitalism and the socialist nationalism of industries, whereby private shareholders and bureaucratic governments respectively siphon profits, therefore have worked to address inequality issues and have had success providing diversified work opportunities for women, promoting self-sufficiency as well as agricultural sustainability in a people-oriented welfare system. SEIKATSU is a prime example of how social economy has helped to tackle developmental problems. Perspectives of SEIKATSU. Economic. Many countries in Asia, such as Japan, have experienced a drastic decline in gross domestic product. Factors such as low production costs, massive delocalization, cost competitiveness have contributed to this and the financial struggles of the people. Amidst this, SEIKATSU's social welfare program have generated over 17.3 billion yen while employing nearly 50,000 people, making it one of the largest corporate groups in Japan. They have been successful in generating funds through numerous enterprises, as well as the collection of membership fees, which at $11 per month per individual accumulate to approximately 1 billion in capital. Social. The social aspect in Japan has been declining for approximately 5 years, according to Yukiro Ito, the advisor and former president of the SEIKATSU Club. The deflating economy, increasing gap between the rich and the poor, as well as disproportionate age gaps, have all contributed. As a result, younger generations in Japan are joining SEIKATSU for the opportunity to better their lives, as SEIKATSU's comprehensive sustainable living and community building approaches provides autonomous control of their lives. And the empowerment resonates with them. SEIKATSU clubs have also established social welfare corporations and nonprofits through the operation of long-term nursing care and child care facilities. Political. However lacking, it is often necessary for state government response to uneven development. However, SEIKATSU has taken some of that power to affect the type of change that they desire. For example, since the 80s, they have created over 600 workers' collectives such as bakeries, restaurants, soap factories, and caring for the elderly. Furthermore, by enabling a food citizenship, SEIKATSU members self-govern, thereby creating relationship between consumer and producers and having a direct effect on governance processes. They also have run successful campaigns against synthetic detergents and formed independent networks to contest local elections because they recognize the importance of political process. Cultural. At the very core of SEIKATSU consumer co-op movement is the development of an alternative to mass production, mass consumption, and mass disposal. Although it is more of a socio-economic model combining both free market capitalism alongside social policies, the tactic social order of SEIKATSU promotes a unique culture and shapes the attitudes and behaviors of its members. New residents join SCC to make friends and obtain the benefits of mutual help that were once provided by extended families. Environmental. Historically, the production practices and ecological footprint of producers has been the focus of sustainability shortcomings, but recently more attention from practitioners, policymakers, and academics has been on the role of consumers. The United Nations has framed sustainable agriculture as consumer-driven. Likewise, the FAO and United Nations Environmental Program states that consumers around the world can be a powerful force for change towards more sustainable and equitable agriculture food systems. SEIKATSU has succeeded in the sustainability of regionally local agriculture and self-sufficiency in food. Furthermore, the Laureate News published that SEIKATSU declared themselves GMO-free in 1997, have contributed to reduce CO2 emissions through the use of reusable bottles and containers, are pushing towards wind power factories, solar energy stations, and collective purchase of electricity with a focus on renewable resources. Dimensions of SEIKATSU. Membership. The organization aims to expand its environmental and social welfare work even further, according to Ito, and hopes to gain another 100,000 members in the next 5 years. Management. They work proactively with a forward-looking approach to create the society they envision. The system works by every individual being a dual member to the SCC union and their local SCC. Market. The social market economy is the socially anchored law for the industrial economy, according to which the achievements of free and able individuals are integrated into a system that produces the highest level of economic benefit and social justice for all. Meaning, we want all people who are isolated, who are struggling to raise their children, and young people who will soon enter the workforce. The SEIKATSU Club is a tool for them to use to better their life, says Ito. SEIKATSU Club is not just a place to buy food, we also provide the mechanisms to make our lives happier. The Hudson Model. For neoliberals, the individual is more important than the community, and liberty is a higher good than equality. For social democrats, the community is more important than the individual, and equality is a higher good than liberty. Therefore, we think it is more of an alternative sector. While there is a prioritization of moral, ethical, and social roles of SEOs that may not be otherwise provided by typical capitalist markets, the welfare approach is an adjunct to the mainstream capitalism, economy, and safety net. That being said, SEIKATSU has a strong local focus and moral and ethical commitment to those who are perhaps marginalized and damaged. They help the less fortunate help themselves. Moreover, atypical of traditional welfare approach, SEIKATSU has plans for growth in promoting entrepreneurial capacities and seeks to compete with mainstream capitalist enterprises.
As a way of assessing the social economy alignment of SEIKATSU Club Consumer Cooperative, the following 8 factors have been considered. Incorporated into each of these factors are the social solidarity economy considerations outlined by the RIPUS 2015 Global Vision for a Social Solidarity Economy, including elements such as humanism, solidarity, diversity, inclusiveness, and equality, equity, and justice for all. The first are social needs and issues. SEIKATSU Club Cooperative focuses on specific social needs and issues of its members, such as the decline of food self-sufficiency ratio, insecure food safety, the destruction of the environment, the widening gap of rich and poor, and poverty. Number 2 is social enterprise. As a cooperative, SEIKATSU Club is a social enterprise. According to Corder, Mook, and Armstrong, a cooperative is an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. Number 3 is collaboration and cooperation. By nature, a cooperative must feature collaboration and cooperation amongst its members in order to succeed. The very roots of SEIKATSU Club started with a collaboration between women who wanted to reform their lives in local communities as well as society. Number 4, solidarity and social cohesion. Similarly to item 3 regarding collaboration and cooperation, solidarity and social cohesion are strong components of a cooperative such as SEIKATSU Club. Using a hand model, meaning a small group, for orders and purchase where members help each other is a perfect example of this. Number 5, local development and community empowerment. SEIKATSU Club is all about local development with a focus on improving daily life for its members while also having aspirations to enhance the greater community, society, and environment as a whole. Through their scope and reach, they have even had success in politics and political influence. Number 6, ethical and responsible practices. Ethical and responsible practices are strong values of SEIKATSU Club. Fair trade, gender equality, environmental conservation, and secure communities are among the priorities of the organization and its members. And number 7, policy and legal frameworks. In 1979, SEIKATSU Club started running candidates for political office and now has over 100 members who serve as local councillors. As much as SEIKATSU Club is recognized as a women's movement, it's also a significant political movement in Japan. Political involvement and influence helped to pave the way for enhancements to the cooperative regulations and business model, but also for the various social, cultural, and environmental priorities of SEIKATSU Club. And finally, number 8, education and awareness. Based on the SEIKATSU Club 2030 sustainability goals, there is a specific educational and engagement component related to each goal. Inspiring others to take part and converting new members through shared values is critical to the sustainability of the SEIKATSU Club. The aspects of a cooperative organization and their relation to SEIKATSU Club Consumer Cooperative were explored using Poirier's 2014 paper called Social Solidarity Economy and Related Concepts, Origins, and Definitions, an International Perspective, which outlines the following 7 factors. Factor 1, open and voluntary membership. Membership in a SEIKATSU Club is open to all people who can reasonably use its services and stand willing to accept the responsibilities of membership regardless of race, religion, gender, or economic circumstances. Factor 2 is democratic member control. SEIKATSU Club is a democratic organization controlled by its members who actively participate in setting policies and making decisions. Furthermore, SEIKATSU Club features regional autonomy in its operation and management, which allows them to be hyper-local in focus for specific needs and issues while still rolling up to the SEIKATSU Club Union for improved efficiency in common areas such as ordering and distribution systems as well as IT systems. Factor 3 is members' economic participation. An example of this is the mutual aid business activities that occur among SEIKATSU Club Union members at the local levels. Local SEIKATSU clubs conduct nonprofit or cooperative businesses based on specific local needs, which not only support members, but also local communities beyond SEIKATSU Club. Factor 4, autonomy and independence. Priority Goal 11 of SEIKATSU Club's 2030 sustainability goals is based on autonomous management and implementing ideals of deciding and acting on their own initiative. The hyper-local abilities of member clubs also allows for autonomy and independence while having the support structure of the overall SEIKATSU Club Union. Factor 5, education, training, and information. Education, training, and information are critical to the sustainability of SEIKATSU Club. As stated previously, each of the 11 priority goals of SEIKATSU Club's 2030 sustainability goals features its own promotional component. In order to gain and maintain a following, it is necessary to educate the public in values and priorities so the public might find alignment with those ideals. Factor 6, cooperation among cooperatives. This is evident in the overall structure of the SEIKATSU clubs under the umbrella of the SEIKATSU Club Union. Great cooperation is necessary in order to focus on local community development, while working within the same overall structure and benefiting from the union of SEIKATSU clubs as a whole. And finally, Factor 7, concern for community. SEIKATSU Club has a great concern for community, which is demonstrated by their work and values in the areas of food security, environmental conservation, local community economic development, peaceful coexistence, and renunciation of war, as well as gender equality. We invite you also to look at the cooperatives infograph here about cooperatives in Japan. This isn't specific to SEIKATSU Club, but interesting nonetheless about cooperatives and their influence in Japan.
In Japan, cooperatives are administered by different laws according to the sector they belong to. Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries administer the co-ops that are in agriculture, forestry and fisheries. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare administers all the consumer co-ops. There is some gender equality and diversity issues limitations. 44% women are in workforce and 14% are in management, and the goal for 2030 is to have 50% women in workforce and 35% in management. We also have societal changes, aging population and depopulation of production areas in agriculture, forestry and livestock. There's lots of impact on globalization because of the agreements and just changing lifestyle and workforce. There are man-made and natural disasters that are limitations because we can't predict them. We need to provide continuous education on those after disasters or before disasters. There are some after effects. For example, the 2011 there's a nuclear disaster that happened in one of the nuclear areas, and there was after effects of the radiations. So in Japan, meat and chicken is mostly imported, and also the feed for livestock is imported, and there's some quality control issues in other countries that they can't control how they use their pesticides, additives, and some pharma agents. The opportunity is that we have to encourage women participation. It improves independence, it improves family income, it improves workforce as well as tax base. This question of self-reliance and sufficiency, we have seen during this war with Ukraine, you've seen that every country now is trying to be self-sufficient with the natural resources, with the utilities, with gas support, supplies, and all those kind of things. Trying to grow food locally and improve food safety. Um, Trying to breed native species of livestock domestically, and bring that up. Create diverse local economy to support a wide range of people. That is something that SEIKATSU had been able to do it. Trying to export Japanese co-op model. I think it is a wonderful model. Like currently SEIKATSU does around 57 billion yen of in revenue, which is around 570 million Canadian dollars. I think that is a significant amount of revenue, and they could export that as a model. Um, so the other opportunities are to reduce environmental impacts, to reduce pesticides and some pharma medications, generate electricity through renewable resources. I think SEIKATSU has been able to generate through wind and solar. Reduce plastic and reuse products, like instead of using plastic bottles, use glass bottles. Discourage migration to urban areas. This is happening everywhere around the world, where people are moving from small villages and towns to bigger cities, and trying to have that, the services available for them to be able to stay where they are. So, like age in place concept. Try to improve relationships and collaboration with the government, with local communities, with bigger organizations. So for the path forward, I think is to continue to consult with the government of Japan, improve laws, try to make it into one law, provide support when needed. There will be the government's mandate in terms of disasters, in terms of providing support for and funding somehow. Partnering with organizations to reduce pollution in air, sea, promote cleanup activities, which they are trying to do, and clean up the beaches and try and take out the plastic from the side of the seas. Trying to promote equality and diversity, trying to everybody has a role in the community, and integrate that into a daily living. Reduce dependency on nuclear energy. It's currently it's like this is what everybody needs, nuclear energy, and we have to try and get out of that dependency. Invest in technology to predict disasters. I think that is something that is important for everyone. Nobody knew Turkey will have that earthquake. It's something that it's really the disaster was bad, and so did all these disasters that are happening just now, fires or earthquakes, nuclear. We had a nuclear disaster in Japan, tsunamis. Those are really impacting the world everywhere. Improve birth rate or immigration to support the aging population. I think that is very important. Everybody, the baby boomers are going away, so I think North America will have that problem in the next 10 years at least. But Japan is facing it now with their population, and they're trying to integrate people from different countries into their society. Lastly, in conclusion, think that the whole world is facing similar problems with different intensities. There are different ways of solving communal problems through CEDs, co-ops, NGOs, NFPs, through for-profits and their corporate social responsibilities. We can learn from these co-ops in different places around the world. In like Germany, like Japan, they are doing a lot more work than we do in Canada, and you can learn from each other without inventing a new one. So lastly, I want to thank you all, and if you have any questions.